Welcome guys, this is John, the board game haver with the right group. Today's game is Pandemic, another classic that's came out since I really got into board gaming, which is great to be there right at the start of it. This is a cooperative game, not the first cooperative game, not by a long shot, but it was definitely, I feel, the first to really grab the attention of the board gaming hobby, as well as a little bit more mainstream. This is a game that you can buy in Target, which is great to see. Which is great to get into Target and be able to see some of the less obvious games. Again, this is a really fun game. That the theme is you are scientists for the Center for Disease Control, and you are trying to help save the world from diseases. And the diseases are made up of these different colored cubes that are meant to act as groups of people in different countries that are have been fallen under four different types of diseases. So let me quickly go into just how the game plays. This is the basic setup for the game. I haven't added anything to the board. We have the infection rate, which just means later on how many new diseases are going to break out in these different cities. If there are, so I shouldn't use the word outbreak, how many people become fallen under the different diseases. If there are too many cubes in a certain city, it's seen as an outbreak and it just expands to surrounding cities. We have here our player decks. I've already dealt out cards to the different players, but at the end of the turn they're going to take a couple of extra cards, and I'll show that, and then we will infect certain cities. So on a turn you have 4 actions, and those actions can be to drive a ferry, which is just to move a space. You can also treat a disease, which just means taking a disease off the board, just a single cube off the board. You can have a direct flight. That means one of your cards lets you go to another city. So if I have the Buenos Aires card, I can move to Buenos Aires just directly. You can also do a charter flight, which means if I was in Buenos Aires, and I had the Buenos Aires card, I can discard it and fly to anywhere in the world. Got to go to Karachi, because that's where I want to go. You can also do a shuttle flight. Later on, you can build these. These are research stations. So if you happen to build a research station in a certain city, then you can you want to do that for one or two reasons. One, you can do a shuttle flight, which means you can just for one move go from one research station to another. But also, if you have 5 cards of the same color, you can find a cure, and I'll show you how we do that later on. But once you've done your four actions for your playing piece, you'll draw 2 cards. So we'll just say that this player just did the turn. They've got 2 extra cards. This won't be open information. This will be in your hand. If you ever have more than 7 cards, you need to discard cards straight away. You can use special events out of your hand. So that's great. You can just use the special events to lower how many cards you have in your hand, so you don't need to discard stuff. Special events can be used at any time, not even in your turn, and they don't take an action to use. Then we infect the cities, so we'll turn over card one at a time. We've got to do 2. So Chennai gets a cube, and Tehran gets a cube, which is lucky because we have white in Tehran to deal with those. And we just keep on doing that. Players move and do what they need to do, and then draw 2 cards. If at any time you draw an epidemic card, our infection rate goes up. We draw a card from the bottom, which is Essen in this case, and we will put 3 cubes there. We then take the cities that have already been infected, we give them a shuffle, and put them here on top of our infection deck. Now we will infect again, and we will infect Santiago, which is right here, and we will infect Chennai, which is right here. So everything's great. Everything is fantastic. Draw another 2 cards, do a turn, move things around, draw 2 cards, and we now have someone that has 4 cards. Something else that you can do is share knowledge. So we've got the blue player and we've got the white player. The white player has the Tehran card. If they are in the same city, which happens to be Tehran, they can share the knowledge of the Tehran card. The blue player now has 5 black cards, which he will discard and cure black. If on a later turn, these cubes are removed, again treated in the same way, except now, because we now know the cure, one action will clear all the cubes in one city. And if you're the medic, just moving into the city will clear all the cubes. It's fantastic. Which is great. And we now have cleared all the black cubes. We have now eradicated that disease, which means if any more black cards come out, they do not infect anymore. If when you go to infect, there are already 3 cubes in a given city, we do not add any new cubes to that city. Instead, there is an outbreak, which means each surrounding city gets a cube of that specific colour. If Washington came out next, then, we've got one in the outbreak. Let's say the next turn, Washington comes out. Again, we don't add one there. We would just put a cube round here. You can see that even though it's a yellow city, it gets a blue cube. And we go to put one in here in New York, and you know what? It just triggered a second outbreak. It doesn't outbreak back in itself, and you just go on. Game ends when you have cured all diseases, not eradicated, just cured all the 4 diseases. Or if one of the coloured cubes runs out, if you go to place a cube and there's no cubes left, game is over, you've just lost. Or if the outbreaks get to 8, if you have 8 outbreaks, game over, you've just lost. Or if you go to draw any extra cards here at the end of your turn and there are no cards left, game over, you have lost. 1 way to win, 3 ways to lose. What do I think about this game? This is an incredibly fun game. Everything is in here. Everything is... There's a lot going on that this will keep you interested. To make it more difficult, you just simply add extra epidemic cards. You can also add expansions. There are 3 expansions out there for the game. You have On the Brink, which I really enjoy. It adds an extra disease, which can be mutated. It adds a bioterrorist. It makes the game not cooperative, but it is interesting enough if you want to try something different. You have In the Lab, which adds an actual extra board where you're trying to help fight the disease and find the cure within the lab itself. And then there was an expansion last year called State of Emergency, which I don't know a lot about, but looks incredibly interesting. So this is a fun game. It is cooperative. Some people complain that there is the chance for the alpha gamer. So when you're playing with certain groups, there's that one player that just says, you need to go here and you need to do this. Well, I don't have fun doing that. I don't like being a meat puppet where you can just play the game by yourself and just have a dummy hand, but you just need me here to hold the cards for you. I don't enjoy that. I have done that. I have been the alpha player, but mostly with my kids, just to kind of, and what I try and do is just try and help them and say, what would you like to do? But here's some suggestions. With the right group, who is this game going to be good for? I think it's a really great family game. So if you're playing with your kids, you're playing with your spouse, there's nothing better than taking the competition out of it. You're working together. You can enjoy it, and you can enjoy having the shared victory, but having a true shared victory where you're not trying to compete with each other, you just try to help each other towards a common goal. I don't like it as much with my serious gamers because you've got more chance of getting the alpha gamer in those groups. One of my favorite groups to play with this when I'm playing with my friends. I have a friend that he does not like competing. He is a lawyer, and so when he wants to have fun at the weekend, his idea of fun is not to compete. He competes every single day, and when he plays a game, he doesn't want to compete with the people that he loves. And I got this out, and he just got into it, and he was excited to play this game. This was definitely up his alley, and I would suggest if you have that friend that isn't really into gaming, but has the kind of personality where they want to help people, this is how you help them help people. Go out and get this game. I think everybody should have it. I think whether you're a gamer or not, go and get it. It is very simple to play. There are a lot of rules in the game that break the rules. I think that's common in so many games. Like, here's the basic rules, but here's where the rules are broken. And that keeps things interesting. Always try and keep the game interesting by mixing up who you're going to be. If you find that you guys are always winning using the same combination, don't use that same combination of roles anymore. So yeah, go out and get this game. Don't play it with your heavy gamer people. There's other cooperatives I think that might fit what you're looking for better. But just about every other group, this is going to work. This is John, the board game haver, and until next time, thanks guys.